Hello everyone, my name is Alison Thwaite and I'm the Employment Development Manager for the UK Down Syndrome Association's WorkFit programme. Thank you for inviting me to join you today. I'm going to go through a slideshow presentation and share some videos and slides to tell you about the WorkFit programme and the work that we do and why we do it. I'll be happy to join you at the end of the session to answer any questions that you may have.
Welcome to the DSA WorkFit National Conference. I am an inclusion advisor and I've been working for the DSA since July 2023. I'm advising on how to include people better using the Listen, Include, Respect guidelines.
I started working at the Down Syndrome Association in March 1994. I enjoy the DSA because I love the team, the members and the staff.
I have worked with the DSA for many years and was a founder member of the Down to Earth group in 1999. The highlight was going to United Nations in New York on World Down Syndrome Day and spoke about the subject of WorkFit.
It's not easy to find paid work if you have a learning disability. I know people who have got jobs through WorkFit. WorkFit are living up to their name, helping people fit into work.
Thank you so much, Joe, Vinny, Kate and Catherine for welcoming everyone to the session. Okay, so I'm going to talk about three specific employers today and the employees that they have who have Down syndrome. And I'm just going to talk about the WorkFit programme generally and share some of those case studies with you, just to give you a flavour of what we do and the partnerships that we have. You possibly will know that less than 5% of adults with learning disabilities are in paid work in the UK, which is a shocking figure considering we know that more than 2/3 of adults with Down syndrome and other learning disabilities want to work. So we are doing our best to deliver effective supported employment for people who have Down syndrome. And of course, other organisations out there are doing supported employment for a range of other disabilities. So our goals are very simple. We want to connect employers and potential employees. We encourage employers to get involved with WorkFit, and often they've heard of us through other employers, through word of mouth. We tend to share a lot of our success stories on social media, and we get a lot of employers coming to us because they've seen perhaps somebody at another branch of their organisation has recruited someone, or they see someone in a similar industry who's recruited someone and they feel that they'd like to get involved and offer an opportunity themselves. So we support them throughout the process from the very start, assessing their workplace, getting to know them and their workplace culture, right through to placing a person in an opportunity and then providing the ongoing support for as long as that person is in the job. And we're looking for real jobs, meaningful jobs that are going to meet the needs of our candidates and also meet the business needs of their employers. We want them to have the same terms and conditions as their colleagues, and of course they do because they have rights under the Equality Act. So it's very important that we get the right format for them, the right shift patterns and hours and things like that. So it's very much about a flexible approach. We also want them to be fully included in the workplace. That is essential. We want them to feel that they know as many people as possible, that they understand their objectives, that they can participate in any of the extra things that happen at work, the social side of things, any forums or D&I groups or anything like that. We want them to be involved in. We feel that everyone can work if they want to, and motivation is a huge part of understanding what people want to do and are they keen to work. We want to know, what motivates them, what they're interested in, and then we need to find the right job with the right level of support so that they can fulfill that potential. We're always pleased to work with the Our Voice group, who are a group of people who have Down syndrome, who are part of the DSA, and they do a lot of co-production work for us and other programs at the DSA, where they look at our materials and they let us know if they are accessible and how they can be enhanced and improved, because it's absolutely vital that we provide things that are suitable and accessible to our cohort of people who have Down syndrome. So our candidates are all ages. Usually they register with us anything from age 14 upwards, anticipating maybe leaving school or college and wanting to get into the world of work. And they have a huge range of skills and abilities, and it's very important to us that WorkFit is for everyone. Anyone who wants to work and has Down syndrome is more than welcome to register with WorkFit, and we will endeavour to find the perfect job for them. We do have a lot of school and college leavers in their early 20s, and what we find is they may have varied experiences through school and college. They may have had some vocational training, they may have had some work experience, but they may not have had things like travel training. So they may want to be out there in the workplace but need signposting to support with being able to travel, or may need signposting to access to work funding to be able to fund a taxi service of some kind. Many of them come out with a range of qualifications and have CVs that they want to share with employers. And one of the things that we do at WorkFit is negotiate with employers around removing the barriers that they may have in place. So they may have a criteria for a position where they are looking for a food hygiene certificate at level 2. And we may say, well, we think a level 1 would be appropriate in this scenario because the person has achieved the qualification of level 1, they can demonstrate an aptitude and ability to be able to deliver what is required at level 1, and so level 2 is an enhancement of that perhaps you can support them with when they come to work in your organisation. So it's all about being flexible and applying reasonable adjustments in a sensible way to help employers see that they can actually support, and that the reasonable adjustments are not going to be expensive or time consuming for them to apply. Many of the people that we work with have had limited exposure to different job sectors. Some may well leave school or college having had experience of catering, retail or hospitality, which are all very valuable sectors in the UK with jobs available. But we want them to think about other opportunities. We have people in museums, on construction sites, in laboratories, doing a huge range of different jobs. So we always talk to candidates when they come to us about what might be possible and what they feel they want to do. And often many of them have very specific ambitions around their career, and we want to fulfill those, help them to do that. Some of the people that we work with have been in a job and not had any opportunities to progress, and they have seen other opportunities in that workplace and want to apply to do a different job, and they just need a bit of support in terms of how to do that, and we're happy to get involved with that scenario. And other people who may be older, who haven't considered work before, but have seen some of the success stories and case studies that we've promoted and feel that the time is right for them and that they want to get into the workplace. So again, we're very happy to support anyone who wants to work through WorkFit. The average age of people going into work is 26 for us, just for interest. So this is our employer process. So the 5 stages of the process: registering, and then they work with their dedicated WorkFit officer, and that WorkFit officer supports them through the whole process and beyond. So they have a chance to build up a very good rapport with that individual and get to know them very well. And the WorkFit officer gets to know their business needs, people in their teams, and that works really well. We find that one-to-one personal approach. So they will work with the employer to look at job descriptions, to look at the recruitment process, to look at how somebody will be inducted into the business, and they will give a lot of advice and support and guidance around that, and then provide ongoing support to the candidate and employer for as long as that candidate is with their organisation. I'm going to share a video now with you that was created by Hilton. We have a very strong partnership with them and they've recruited a lot of people. We're not far short of our 50th employment opportunity developed with Hilton in England and Wales. So they are a wonderful partner to us and very supportive. So I'll just share this video with you.
I work in Hilton make me feel happy and proud, and I like doing my job.
This has been a huge progression for me from the day I started to now.
I'm honestly really proud of myself and it feels great. It really does.
At Hilton, we see firsthand the benefits of employing team members of all different abilities. There's a stronger empathy, there's a greater team bond and increased customer satisfaction. But also those individuals, they truly benefit as well from the purpose of being at work. We work with a whole variety of partners, including Aurora Fox's Hospitality College and Hotel, and WorkFit, which is the Down Syndrome Association's employment programme. We've welcomed a huge amount of team members into roles in our hotels and offices.
It feels nice that people that struggle getting jobs are able to have a job and actually think, wow, I can be like everyone else.
He's always willing to take the extra mile for everybody that he works with, including his guests.
The value to the business, it's not just another pair of hands. We're learning, we're engaging, and he's teaching us, and he's making us better people and a better organisation.
Action! My goals are customer service and teamwork.
Before starting here, I was getting a lot of stage frights. I think it's the interpersonal skills and the communication skills that have helped me overcome that.
For me as a buddy, it's just great to have his perspective on things, to talk with someone who might have different ideas.
I am good at my job in the kitchen, peeling and cutting. I like to be famous. I like to be Jamie Oliver. When I first found out I got a job, I was really pleased. I was beyond proud.
I think there can be a fear factor about somebody with a learning disability, and having them here, I think that's broken down those barriers completely for our team and for all our leaders as well.
It widens your life experience because of this new perspective that a person can bring into the team.
We don't discriminate. Everybody is different at Hilton.
The reason I love Hilton is because it doesn't look at learning disabilities. We hire, for who they are.
Disability in any team should be seen as an asset. Speaking from experience, it also increases your team morale quite considerably, contributes to the culture.
I would recommend working at Hilton for other people with special needs, given that it's a good experience and it also teaches us a new quality of life.
We should really see inclusivity as a shared responsibility for all of us to foster an environment that's fully inclusive and be the employer of choice for people with all abilities.
So some great examples there of good practice from Hilton and how supportive they've been of our candidates and our ethos at work as well. So supporting our candidates, when they come to us and register, the first thing that we do is assign them a dedicated WorkFit officer who then does a vocational profile. So this is quite a detailed interview and discussion with them and people who support them to find out about their interests, their needs, their desires around their career, any health issues that we want to be aware of, any travel training that they might need. Generally, it's just a real deep dive into capturing as much as we can about them that will help us consider who might be a suitable employer for them. If they have a CV, that's lovely. If they don't, we might encourage them to do a video CV or do something in a format that works for them. Ideally, then we'd have a job that we wanted to talk to them about. So we'd be sharing an accessible job description, which might have video content in there or pictures or images. And then the next stage would be arranging a site tour and informal job interview. So this is where they would go along with us and possibly a parent or support person and look at a site, have a look around, meet some of the people who work there, look at some of the tasks that they might do in that job and get a feel for the site itself. Is it big? Is it small? Is it noisy, quiet, cold, warm? Is it easy for them to get to? Because traveling can sometimes be a challenge. So we want them to be able to go to the site and have a look around and ask questions, and for anyone else to be able to ask questions and just find out a bit more about it before they decide if they want to give it a try. And then, of course, if they do want to go ahead, we put things in place around resources that they can access, timetables, checklists, various other things. And I'll talk a bit more in depth about induction and things in a little while. Reasonable adjustments are key to the success of the process, as is flexibility. So we work with our employers and we talk about the kind of hours that somebody might want to work. They might want to work 8 hours or 16 hours. They might want to work 4 days a week or 2 days a week, or they might want to just work mornings, or whatever it might be. But being flexible is key to the success of the process, and helping employers understand that reasonable adjustments are usually fairly minor things that can be easily implemented and that won't cost very much at all. And of course, once somebody has started work, we regularly check in, make sure everything is going well, give a bit of advice and support as needed. If there are any challenging circumstances, we get involved straight away on site, ideally have conversations, look at what support strategies we can put in place. And at the DSA, we have a specialist who can advise on the benefits system and how someone might be impacted if they do start to earn wages from having a job. So it's a very comprehensive programme in that we support candidates and families in depth, and employers as well. Some of the resources that we provide to candidates are shown here, because we know that things change at work. They may be in a situation where colleagues are changing, or their job role is changing, or they've been asked to do different hours, and those things can be quite unsettling. So we've got an easy read document around that. We also have a document that we give to our candidates before they start work, which is all about what might be expected of them in terms of being professional. So being on time, being well presented, the way that they speak to colleagues and customers. That's a very useful guide as well. Again, co-produced by the Our Voice group, who've given us a lot of good insight and valuable information into what they feel would work best. So a short film now of Daniel, who works in a theatre, and this is a really good film to show how Daniel can communicate effectively with the team and how they can also communicate well with him.
Ready, action.
My name is Daniel. I work and wrote the first cartoon. I like so Dasha.
Daniel did face some barriers and challenges to accessing the job market. Daniel's family did find it challenging to approach employers and knowing what organisations to work with and what employers were able to offer to somebody with Down syndrome.
We wanted to get involved with the Down Syndrome Association's WorkFit programme because it looked like the most accessible way for us to be able to work with a group of people that knew how to facilitate us bringing someone on board with our team, and the offer of what WorkFit could give us at the time with the training, the development, being able to meet one-on-one and being able to bring people in prior to employing them
For Daniel, a traditional job interview and the traditional application process of a job wouldn't really be the most appropriate strategy. So when Daniel was interested and he wanted to start working at the Bridge Theatre, we wanted to slowly introduce him and break down that barrier to work by having him come in, meet some of his managers for the first time, start to familiarise himself with the environment, and then on his next visit, meet his buddies and actually have a go at doing a few of the tasks in a less pressurised situation. And it was a real chance for his team and his buddies to start to understand how to effectively communicate with Daniel and support him within the workplace.
We have actually created a role specifically for Daniel, and we've spoken with WorkFit in detail about how best to place Daniel in a position where he is comfortable and that we can set the tasks up.
So we made a few different reasonable adjustments for Daniel. We set up a buddy system along with the WorkFit programme.
How are you feeling about going to work today, Daniel?
Where a buddy would work with Daniel on shift. They check in with Daniel at the beginning of the shift and use various different visual aids to help Daniel as he checks in, as he does work, different tick lists and things to make sure that he knows what he's doing and feels like he's making a positive difference.
This system reaffirms to Daniel that he is doing really well, which in turn gives him more confidence to continue developing his skills and therefore creates more independence for him.
Good job. Should we go to work?
Yeah.
Initially, I applied to be a buddy because I was looking for variety in my work. We have been supported by the DSA WorkFit programme in so many ways. Lydia and the team have always only been an email away, and I've always felt really empowered to come to them with any issues I have. I use a couple of different methods to communicate with Daniel. We do a lot of showing. Daniel really takes well to being shown something first. I watch to see if he's understood it, and then once he's understood it and completed the task, then we move on.
So the Bridge Theatre put together a wonderful visual timetable for Daniel, and that was one that was very specific to his working area and the places that he was going to be. Daniel also uses a sliding checklist, and this is a really good opportunity to reassure Daniel that he's done well and it's a tangible representation that he has completed those tasks.
Daniel focuses on glass wash. He will collect glasses, wiping tables, cleaning the bar area, filling sanitizer bottles, prepping trays. He will wash every single thing, dry every single thing, put every single thing away. Was absolutely brilliant at picking up the tasks.
So we've gotten a huge amount of gratification out of this programme. It's really lovely to see Daniel in work and thriving so much. We've also really noticed a difference in the team in the fact that they are bonding together to support Daniel. We've gained a huge amount of confidence as an employer and as a company in developing this to support other people.
I would recommend working with WorkFit. I think the experience that we've been offered is invaluable, not just to us, but to our customers as well.
Daniel has had some amazing effects on the team. He brings such a bright and positive attitude. He really lifts the rest of the team up. He's also great at all of his tasks. He's really efficient. He tries really hard. He works so hard.
Through working, Daniel has developed new social skills. This is a whole different new environment for Daniel, and he's really been able to start grasping the concept of work. Daniel's a lot more confident now, seeing that he is doing those same tasks as everyone else on his team and achieving them.
He's settled in so well. He brings a completely different energy. He's happy, he's funny, he's cheeky, and I think a lot of people look forward to Tuesday and Wednesday when he's here because he is just a joy to work with, and he definitely makes it feel more fulfilling when he's here, and we really enjoy having him.
So another great example of support there for a candidate, Daniel, and one of the other things that shines through again in that second video is how good this is for team building and team spirit and team morale. It's incredibly positive. So WorkFit works with employees across all three sectors: public sector, private sector and third sector. And we have people in a huge range of different jobs. As I mentioned, laboratories, lawyers' offices, various retail locations, gyms, health clubs, construction sites, museums. We have people at Christie's auction house, we have people at Gucci selling clothes. It's just a huge range of opportunities out there, and we are doing our best to get people into the opportunities that they really enjoy and aspire to. It's really important to us that we meet those career ambitions. So for employers, we do the initial workplace assessment, as I mentioned, with that assigned WorkFit officer who will find out about their workplace culture, their business needs, what kind of tasks and roles they have, and look at tailoring an existing role or carving a new role for someone who has Down syndrome. And then we support them with their recruitment process to make their information accessible. We would look at the job description, we would look at the actual recruitment process itself. We'd probably steer them away from the more traditional methods and get them to think a little bit differently and get things much more informal and relaxed in terms of the actual interview process, the site tour and all of those things. We talk to them about what they wanted to offer. Most people that we work with are looking for permanent paid jobs because that's a huge stepping stone for their independence. But there are people who are looking for volunteering or maybe short-term unpaid work placements just to be able to trial things and have some taster sessions. Some people are looking for supported internships or traineeships, and we're happy to support whatever anybody is looking for. Employer training session is key to what we do because we understand that some employees might be apprehensive. If they haven't recruited somebody who has a learning disability before, they will have lots of questions. And we do the training session and we talk about what the condition of Down syndrome is, how to support somebody to successfully learn the tasks that they need to do, how to communicate effectively. And those things give the employer and their colleagues a lot of confidence in terms of welcoming that person into the organisation when the time comes. And of course, we do regular reviews. We keep in touch often. We like to know how things are going. We like to share some pictures on social media as well. If somebody gets Employee of the Month or other kind of recognition at work, we're very keen to share that. But more importantly, if anybody's having any challenges or any worries or concerns, it's very important that we know about that quickly and can get involved and offer some support. Buddy is very important in the process as we want them to build a good rapport, get to know their new colleague really well, understand what might be a challenge for them and how they can support them to overcome those challenges, how they can make things more accessible and easier, and of course, ongoing advice and resources as often as is needed. Everything that we provide to WorkFit employees and candidates is completely free of charge. Through the Down Syndrome Association being a charity, we are funded for all our programmes and activities by charitable donations. So lots of benefits for employers in terms of the positives that we've mentioned already, and we've seen the two videos there from two employers talking about what a great opportunity this is to enhance their staff morale and bringing people together. And then of course the learning experience of having the training and feeling that they can then maybe translate some of those skills that they now have to their customer base. And also, just in the way that they think about their products and services, are they able to develop something and enhance it because they have now some experience of working with a colleague who has a learning disability, and do they now have that new perspective on things? They are not as concerned about the resource of providing a buddy because they understand that the buddy will be quite intensely supporting that new employee at the start, but then will be able to gradually take a step back as the new employee becomes more and more confident and takes on more responsibility. And of course, every employer wants people who are talented, motivated and dedicated, three very important attributes in the workplace. And what we find is for people who have Down syndrome, if we find them the right job and they are happy and they feel safe and secure and supported, they would tend to stay in that job for quite a long time. We've got people who have been employed for more than 10 years in their jobs. And of course, it's very important that they have a level of professional development if they want to have that. And we do talk to employees about that. But we have a lot of people who are very happy in the jobs that they do and have been there for a long time and wish to continue in those roles. So that's really good. Of course, CSR and D&I and whatever other acronyms and terms we might use, everything that we do in the UK is underpinned by the Equality Act 2010. And we find that a lot of organisations are very committed to doing the right thing. They want to have a diverse workforce, and they understand that a diverse workforce is a strong workforce. So that is great. We tend to help them sometimes to simplify what they've got. They might have a D&I policy or agenda that is incredibly long and complex, and it really doesn't need to be. It just needs to be a commitment to support everybody of all abilities to do well within their organisation. So again, those are discussions that we tend to have with employees as well. We provide some example job roles to help them with preparing their job descriptions, and we work closely with them on that. The most common jobs are probably admin, retail, catering and warehouse type roles. But as I've mentioned, we do have some more unusual roles as well. So we provide things like this to give employers a starting point in terms of things for them to think about if they are adapting a job description or carving a new role. And then buddies, very important in the process. We ask an employer to designate a couple of existing team members, or perhaps to ask people if they would like to volunteer. Because as we know, this process does bring people together. It's something that they can get excited about, and there may be somebody in the team who has a learning disability themselves, or who has a family member or friend with a learning disability, and they may feel that being a buddy to somebody new coming in is something that they would find enjoyable and fulfilling. So suggesting that they could ask for volunteers is often very positive. We want the workplace buddy to support the new employee with their induction, with learning the new job and the tasks, and ensuring that they can do those tasks to the best of their ability, and also helping them to become fully integrated in all of the social aspects of work. There may be various activities, there may be clubs, sports groups, forums, lots of different things in the workplace that they may feel they want to get involved with, and a workplace buddy would be very helpful in explaining how they might do that, and just helping with the initial things on day one: lockers, canteen facilities, toilets, all of those things, and then just being there with a timely reminder and just refreshing them whenever they next come back into work. So buddies are absolutely crucial in the process, we find. I'm going to show just a short bit of Dan at Multipave, because he's in the construction industry, which is slightly different to some of the more mainstream jobs that we fill. So I'm just going to play a little bit of Dan at Multipave.
My name is Daniel Lewis Thompson.
And where do you work, Daniel?
In Multipave.
Dan, what do you enjoy about working at Multipave?
This is my desk. This is my favorite desk.
Dan, what do you score the gang today out of 10? 10 out of 10?
Yeah.
Were they all smart?
Yeah.
Yeah? Were they all wearing PPE?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. This is Steve. It's delivery machines in it. This is artwork. This is John. I open with machines. This is some our machines. I have John fix this. Basically, we check a fire alarm. This is our work dog shoes. This is John. Is a boss.
On the 23rd of March, it will be your 2-year anniversary at Multipave. What training have you completed in this time?
I have backsmith in circuit. I have direct Wagons off-site. I love it. To drive a forklift.
So I'll just pause there. It's great to see how much Daniel enjoys his job and how well he's doing. And, you know, his employer isn't a huge organisation, but they are very invested in supporting him in a huge range of learning experiences and qualifications. And as you can see, he loves it and he's doing incredibly well there. So why is WorkFit successful? We are very keen to share the success of our candidates. We are very keen to acknowledge the support of our employers. So we share a lot of case studies about the success of bringing those two parties together. We are very proud of the fact that our jobs are sustainable. Over 90% of people going into permanent paid jobs are still in their roles 12 months later. And as I mentioned, some are in their jobs for much longer than a year. Almost 90% are going into paid work from the start, regardless of what we offer. You know, they are keen to get into permanent paid jobs, and a small number want to do volunteering or a brief unpaid work experience, but the vast majority are looking for paid work, and we're happy to support that. And almost 80% are going into private sector organisations. Again, we're delighted with that. So the two key things I think that are essential with the programme are the workplace buddy system and the training for employers and teams. Those two elements are really important. A lot of supported employment organisations use job coaches rather than a buddy system, but we don't feel this is as natural as just having a team member do the training, because usually it's a third party coming in with the new employee who often they don't know, who then learns the job and then teaches the new employee. We would like a much more natural and organic approach of the new employee being trained by their existing colleagues. So we think it works incredibly well, and we've got a lot of evidence to show that that is the case. And of course, the work that we do is underpinned by the expertise of the entire team at the UK Down Syndrome Association, and that, you know, our charity's been operating for more than 50 years. We have a wealth of knowledge and experience in the people that we have in the organisation, led by Carol Boys, our chief executive, who most people have just only dream of the kind of knowledge that she has of the condition, and she's a huge supporter of all of the programmes there. So we're in a very good place to be able to deliver WorkFit and the other support that we offer to help people with Down syndrome to live full and rewarding lives. We are across social media, as I've mentioned. Our YouTube channel is my personal favourite. You can be lost. You can spend many a happy hour there watching YouTube videos and hear from candidates, family members, support staff, employers, lots of different perspectives there. And we're always delighted to share any good news that we have. I'm just going to finish with the assumptions video from Core Down. I appreciate a lot of you have probably seen this, but it's a really, really powerful message. And I like to share this when I have the chance, so I hope you enjoy it.
Hey bartender, you assume that I cannot drink a margarita, so you don't serve me a margarita? So I don't drink a margarita. Your assumption becomes reality. And parents, you assume that I cannot live on my own, so you don't encourage me to live on my own, so I don't live on my own. Coach, you assume that I cannot hit harder, so you don't train me to hit harder, so I don't hit harder. And teacher, you assume that I cannot learn Shakespeare, so you don't teach me Shakespeare.
Old MacDonald had a farm,
so I don't learn Shakespeare. E-I-E-I-O. But hey, if all your assumptions become reality, then assume that I can drink a margarita. You serve me a margarita, so I drink a margarita. Assume that I can live on my own. so I'd live on my own. Assume that I can hit harder, so I hit harder. Assume that I can learn Shakespeare. So, what fools these mortals be? I learned fucking Shakespeare. You assume I can swear, right? Assume that I can do that job. That I can go to parties. That I can have sex. That I can be on stage. Assume that I can. So maybe I will.
Hugely powerful message there. We show that video at the end of our employee training sessions now for every employee that we work with. And I think it's a very, very important message to get across about assuming somebody can do something and supporting them to be able to do so.
Hey, Bart.
Okay, so my contact details are on the screen right now. If anybody wants to make a note of them, I am going to be around for Q&A after this presentation, so I'm looking forward to answering any questions that you might have then. I've also just got a short thank you from Carol Boys to say, you know, we're delighted to be able to present to EDSA today and hope that you've enjoyed the presentation. And I look forward to speaking with you all in a few minutes. So thank you for listening.